right, so today, Friday, August 23rd, we're going to focus on three different things. One, we're going to take a quick step back and look at the entire market and where we think things are going timing-wise. Very important, so we know when to buy, sell, that sort of thing. Secondly, I'm going to talk about the different categories that I'm interested in and that I'm following. And then lastly, I'm going to move that into a Discord server that I just set up and explain and talk a little bit about that. Thanks for watching. This is Crypto for the Rest of Us, 6 days a week tip, tool, or coin analysis. I'm Brian. I am a crypto investor, as well as other things like hand modeling and just in general male model. And if you don't believe that, well, then just look at this. Right, self-explanatory. So it's always good to take a step back and look, and I like to do this once a week for myself, at the market and say, are things kind of playing out the way I think they're going to play out, timing-wise? Peter Brandt, if you're not familiar, he's been around for a very long time in terms of, says chart trader since 1975. I follow him. I think he's got great information. He put out a tweet and then there was a response. It's talking about the entire market, and this will make sense in a minute. You'll see where I'm going. And the response was by this individual, Johnny Mo. Just, credit where credit's due. I'll put a link to this because he has this great graphic that shows in gray here, it's got each Bitcoin halving, and then amount of time between certain events, in particular the amount of time between a Bitcoin halving and then Bitcoin reaching its all-time high. Each time it seems to be getting a little longer. Long story short, it looks like if things play out this way, it'll be November or December for a Bitcoin peak. Why does that matter? Well, it matters because it seems to be a prevailing theory that first Bitcoin hits an all-time high, generally speaking, and then money moves into things like Ethereum and then over to altcoins. Not exactly a perfectly sequential pattern, and then different narratives or industries within altcoins go up and down at various times. If that's the case and Bitcoin's not going to hit till the end of the year, then theoretically speaking, altcoins wouldn't be really moving until the end of the year or the early year. Why do I point that out? Well, let's not FOMO, fear of missing out, into things because we think, oh my gosh, for example, the last week, Total 3, which if you're familiar with Total 3, it just means it's not including Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's the altcoin market. Here's the high of last time, around however many, 1.2 trillion or something. It hit a high this year of about 770 trillion. You can see it's way off the high of last time. It's been in sort of a downward trend. This isn't perfect charting. This is just for my own purposes, just kind of watching what it's doing. But the last week here, it's had a really nice run up. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss out. Personally, for all the things I'm following, I still see, I think, great buying opportunities in whether it be something like an Ondo. It's still less than my average buy-in. ICP, whatever it is you're following, Render, you name it, Ondo. They're still at good buying ranges and no reason to rush. Keep an eye on things because if it doesn't play out till January or February in terms of altcoins moving, then it could be a while and there's still quite a bit of time to get into this market. All right, that's it from a broad perspective. Now, and then the last one I want to show you is this Dune because I like to watch this. Basically, this is Bitcoin at the top and altcoins at the bottom. You see Bitcoin dominance coming down. It means you should be getting into more risk on altcoins. So that's just saying, hey, it looks like altcoins are starting to move. Okay, my top categories. Again, today's episode is really just looking at things from a high level. My top categories and my disclaimer, big dumb animal, don't do what I do. I am following, if you've been watching my show only for about 2 months now, or my episodes, AI, artificial intelligence, breaking it into applications as well as machine learning, as well as infrastructure, all the different NVIDIA or whatever cards and computing power used. Then RWA, DeFi, and real world assets is my second one. These happen to be hot categories. That's not why I picked them. They're just industries I really believe are going to do extremely well, particularly AI and real world assets and DeFi. And then DPIN, because it kind of ties into the AI infrastructure, decentralized physical infrastructure as well. And then what's not shown on here is I am also very interested in keeping an eye on and invested in layer ones as well as layer twos. And my kind of oddball category that not a lot of people talk about, but I'm very interested in, is interoperability. And I've talked about some of those as well. Okay, so lastly, I like to keep all these episodes short. I'm putting together a Discord, or I have, and I'm building it out. I've got a page here. I'll put a link to it if you're interested. It does have a monthly fee. I've got a yearly one, much cheaper. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I am in crypto for the long haul, meaning not just this run. Of course, I'll take profits where I can. I'm very much into the actual value that they're providing. If you're looking for meme coin information, that's not me. I'm looking at what are they actually doing, what value are they actually providing, who's invested in them, who's running them, treating them like real companies with real solutions, because they are. And I believe we're just at the tip of the iceberg, and some of these can really explode, not just in the next 12 months, but in the next 10, 20 years. These things, I think, are going to be trillions and trillions of dollars. 100 trillion in the next 10-year total market cap. That's what I have in the back of my mind, which is substantially more than the total market cap now, which is probably a little over 2 trillion. Okay, so I'm putting this together, looking for people that are like-minded. I'm not going to do a free Discord. I don't want to have to manage 10,000 people that have no interest and they're just throwing a bunch of crap in there. If you really are a value investor, if you will, as well as technical, I'm digging into those categories to start with that I mentioned: layer one, layer two, AI, DeFi, with respect to real world assets, and some interoperability, as well as some other categories which will be branching out, making channels for each one of them, hoping that I can find other individuals that are also trying to dig into these, because it's one thing to invest in those that are in the top 10, top 20, top 100 billion-dollar market caps, have great teams and investors. But then from there, I want to keep digging and find those diamonds in the rough. You can look at some that are 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, and some are just completely vapor. And I do believe that there will be some that are not, and they do have traction. And I want to find those gems, because my portfolio is made up of levels of investing. In other words, there's a big difference between my top 10 and how much I've invested and the next 10, and then the next 10, which are those ones that I think are just sort of a gamble, if you will. But I think it's worth taking, significantly less invested, but could have really great returns. So thank you for watching. 6 days a week, tip tool, coin analysis. Do take a look at this if you're interested at all in this Discord. I'm not looking for a lot of people, just people that want to be active and want to try to dig into these and really find and invest and make generational wealth with this next bull run of crypto and beyond. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.